The US still is in a stalemate on regulation, but the optimism is there's 11 months left to an election, and no matter who wins, Democrats or Republicans, Gary Gensler is not going to be the SEC chair. You are going to get some legislation. You're going to get movement. And when I go to DC, there is bipartisan agreement on, two pieces of legislation. It's being blocked by Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler and a few other players. But that will change.
Two well-known politicians stand out as major participants when examining the crypto environment and its opponents: Democratic Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren and SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. Their relentless attempts to restrict cryptocurrency have been visible, and they have done so by whatever way possible. However, as November draws near, experienced investor Mike Novogratz emphasizes that a significant tipping point for the cryptocurrency space is in store. Novogratz provided insightful commentary on the current situation of the cryptocurrency market and outlined the events that led to its current position in an insightful fireside discussion with iConnect Global. He claims that the value of Bitcoin has lately increased by 7.5% to $43,500. According to Novogratz, this encouraging tendency portends a day when cryptocurrency will be accepted more widely than it was under Gensler's influence. A change in this nature is likely to open the door for the long-awaited passage on Capitol Hill of crypto-friendly laws. Novogratz predicts big things for November, including the possibility that the exchange-traded fund, ETF, may have a big impact on market movement. He thinks that this is the right time to get into the market since a bull run is about to happen. Let's delve into Mike Novogratz's compelling insights as we explore the exciting developments in the crypto space. Let's hear what he has to say next.
So, from a crypto perspective, we came out of the Fed changing policy in 2021 and starting to hike rates aggressively. And so you would think hard assets like crypto and gold would go down, and they did. What accelerated that was all the fraud and bad behavior in the space. And so you had FTX and Celsius and just an embarrassment of bad participants. And so crypto is built on trust, and we lost a lot of trust. And so you had what's a classic market capitulation. Everybody hated it. You couldn't sell enough. Everyone deleveraged. No one's ever going to touch it again. And so when there's complete blood on the streets in markets, it's when you're supposed to come in and buy. It's very scary. You might look like an idiot, but that's when the greatest buying opportunities were. So Bitcoin at 18, 17,000, with hindsight, was a great buying opportunity. So what switched? How did we go from all those headwinds to tailwinds? First, the Fed got closer to finishing their rate hike cycle, right? They're hiking. They're not going to hike forever. And so you could sense and then see the pause, and now we're going to start the rate cutting cycle. And so that was the macro tailwind. You had a weird combination of good things happen. Right? Grayscale, which was this big closed-end fund full of Bitcoin, sued the SEC and said, this is unfair, you won't let an ETF happen. And they won. The reason we have an ETF is not because Gary Gensler decided, I really love crypto now, or the Biden administration, is because they lost in the courts. We have three parts of government, and thank God for the courts in terms of the crypto industry. And so all of a sudden we're going to get an ETF. Larry Fink, one of the most influential asset managers in history, came out and said, hey, this thing called Bitcoin, I know I used to think it didn't serve a purpose, but it's pretty important. And so the fact that Larry Fink got orange-pilled, monstrously important, right? Because it represented institutional investors everywhere. There are lots of different players, but he holds a unique post as the head of the largest asset manager in the world. And all of a sudden, crypto's always been about a macro story and adoption. You could start sensing adoption is going to come. And so people start front running that. We also cleared up Binance, right? The biggest crypto exchange in the world is Binance. There were all this worry, is the money there? CZ settled with the government for some KYC fines, paid a huge fine, and stepped down. And so the risk around Binance, the biggest player, went from here to here, right? So now it's an exchange, it's still the largest exchange, but no one thinks, oh, it's going to get shut down in a week. No one thinks they don't have the money. It's just an offshore player. And so we took a lot of the tail risks away and put a tailwind together.
The cryptocurrency market faced challenges in 2021 as a result of the Federal Reserve's aggressive rate hikes and extensive fraud. As a result, there was a noticeable decline in confidence within the cryptocurrency community, which in turn caused a traditional market sell-off that, surprisingly, coincided with an exceptional purchasing opportunity amid the general anxiety. The Federal Reserve's indication of a possible halt to rate rises and a move towards a cycle of rate cuts provided a macroeconomic windfall for the cryptocurrency market, marking a turning point in the industry. Significant turning points were Larry Fink's endorsement of Bitcoin's importance and Grayscale's successful fight for an ETF, which led to a rise in institutional support. The world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance, had its problems resolved, which also helped to foster confidence by allaying worries and lowering perceived risks. This revolutionary era, characterized by legal victories, changes in the macroeconomy, and powerful support, revitalized the cryptocurrency market, highlighting its flexibility and durability in the face of difficulties and paving the way for fresh hope and opportunity. That's not all. Let's hear what Mike has to say.
And so when I look at crypto now, when I look at the whole industry, I'm like, we're going to get regulation in the next 12 to 18 months. We're going to have the Fed cutting rates, and we've got this new vehicle of adoption that is just getting started, right? The ETF is 2 weeks old. Usually ETFs get announced and they don't start trading for 6 to 7 weeks, so they give the sales forces a ton of time to be able to go make their phone calls. In this case, because of the Grayscale thing, they had 1 day. And so if you're the Invesco sales force, you haven't even started making your calls, or BlackRock, or now we've got 9 big sales forces. Huge sales forces that are selling Bitcoin. And that's a big, big deal. I think you're going to see this institutional creep. It's going to start with the RIAs. But listen, adoption always happens in a relatively similar way. You already have some early movers in the pension world, in the endowment world. Now I can say, I'm not going to get fired. It's not that complex. It's just like a stock. And you're going to see some of those guys move in. And then they're going to say, well, what's next? The Ethereum ETF is coming, so maybe I should be part of that ecosystem. Hey, once we realize, and I think one of the most important things of this ETF is there is an inevitability that crypto is going to be part of the financial landscape. We are going to get legislation done in the next 18 months. You can talk to Hakeem Jeffries, you can talk to Tom Emmer on the other side, Republican and Democrat, they will tell you we're going to get legislation done. And so once this inevitability happens, it just makes it easier for other people to invest. And we're seeing that already. We're seeing that in our asset management business, raising more capital. We're seeing that in signing up more clients to trade with us. It's not like a gold rush that everyone's running like mania like we had in 17 and 21, but it's better for the long run that we have this slow move of the herd. And so it would be surprising to me if the crypto business wasn't a lot bigger in 2 years than it was today.
Now, we've delved into Mike Novogratz's insightful analysis of the crypto landscape, witnessing the transformative journey from adversity to opportunity. As we wrap up, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on Mike's observations? Do you believe that a massive bull run is on the horizon after November's election? Share your opinions and predictions in the comments below. The crypto space is dynamic, and your perspective adds a valuable layer to the ongoing conversation. Stay tuned for more updates and discussions on the exciting developments in the world of cryptocurrency. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay informed on the latest insights. Happy investing!